Whether you're looking to be Winnie the Pooh or Darth Vader, Daisy's Costumes is the place for you. How you doing, Daisy?
Thank you, that was great.
How did you first start getting into making costumes?
I started doing the local amateur dramatics in Sussex, where I was born and raised, and then I worked in the theatre. I met my husband George. He'd just come from Vietnam and they asked him where he wanted to go, so he said he wanted to go to England, and I met him 3 days after he arrived in Oxford, and we went out for 2 months, and then he said, marry me and come and live in California. I thought, oh, that's glamorous, I'll do that. I went down to Universal Studios 40 years ago and said, I'm here. And they went, who are you? And they offered me $3.35 an hour to sew buttons on. I said, no, of course not. I'm better than that. And then I raised my 5 children for a little while, and then when I got them off to school, I thought, well, I'll just open the thrift store on Avenue I. And they had a back room with costumes. I suppose we had about 50. And then one day we looked up and there wasn't room for the thrift store anymore. So we gave that away. And then I sat there for 2 weeks and nobody came in. God, what have I done? And then Sharon Burrow, sweet Sharon, she just died. She's a lovely lady. She owned the Mouse House. A lot of people in town remember the Mouse House. It was an arts and craft place. You could go and learn and do stuff, And she phoned me and she said, I'm retiring. How would you like my Mouse House? Oh, I can't afford that. Yes, you can, she said, and I did. And I moved in there. And that was 30 years ago. And we haven't looked back since, because people went, there's a costume store in Lancaster. You don't have to trot to Hollywood anymore. You come here now. And we think ours are better anyway.
So what's the busiest time of year?
Halloween, of course. Halloween, in they all come. And you come in and you say, I want to be King Edward the Seventh. Oh, right, hang on. And we run off, we get something. And then you stand there and we dress you all up until you say, oh, enough is enough, no more. And then we write you down, we charge you $20 deposit, off you trot, then you come and pay me the rent, and then when you bring it back, you get your $20 back. And if we haven't got it, we'll make it.
So how many times have you been to Daisy's?
This is my first time actually purchasing a costume from Daisy's, so it looks really good. I'm really excited for Cata Camp that I'll be attending, and one dress-up day is a superhero day. So I came here, I gotta look good for the occasion, so cannot wait to dress up as Thor. I wanted to throw some things in from like Ross or Party City, but I can't do this. Daisy's an expert. She was so nice, she came in, she was like, honey, like, I got you, and like walked me through the whole place, and it was, honestly, Daisy's is the best. Like, I couldn't get a better costume from anywhere, so this is the place to go.
I work with the Lancaster Jethawks. We have a Star Wars weekend coming up. We have been using them for a long time, and they kind of recommended this place, so first stop shop. There's a lot of different options. If anyone wants to come in here for Halloween, there's literally everything, it looks like. Daisy was a lot of help. She knew exactly what we needed and got it to us fast, so it was just simple.
This is my friend. This is what he does in his other life.
His very first Jack Sparrow costume he got.
Oh, that's right. Daisy, 6 years ago, outfitted me with that.
Yes.
If you want the most authentic costuming, go see Daisy's. The quality is absolutely amazing. It's a 10. I wouldn't waste time going to any other costume shops. She has everything you could ever want. And if you don't, she doesn't have it, she'll make it for you.
We always used to come to work between 5 and 6 every morning, get all our sewing work done and preparation and costumes. And for this particular day, we overslept and we said, let's have another cup of coffee. And the phone rang. And it was my daughter from Vegas. Somebody called her and said, your mum's store's on fire. And by the time we raced over, it was completely engulfed. Now, if we had been in the store, the fire started up in the attic, came down dead center of the store, smack in the middle. George was always in the back in the laundry. I was always up the front sewing. We honestly believe we wouldn't have survived because we would have run to each other. And there were bars on the windows. We would never have got out. So we were just lucky that we weren't there, you know, and it was all gone. And that was the Thursday morning. Well, on the Saturday morning, one of the local theatre friends of mine got on the phone and said, get over to Daisy's if you've got strong gloves, big boots and a truck. And 30 trucks showed up. People were running in and out and rescuing anything they could, you know, the swords and things like that. And a man came up to me with a clipboard. And he said, are you responsible for all this? Yes, well, I'm Daisy, yeah. Who are you? He said, well, I am the senior arson investigator for the county of Los Angeles. He said, and I don't know what you did. I didn't do anything. I love these things, you know. Come on now. He said, no, no, no. Let me finish, he said. I've been to hundreds of these in my 25 years. And in all my years of doing this, I have never seen such an outpouring of love. And it always makes me cry when I think of that. You know, the people were amazing. And we actually opened, Scott Ehrlich, who beautified the boulevard, offered me a small building down the block. And we opened 6 weeks later. And then Elena at the Lemon Leaf, she offered a fabric drive. And she called me and she said, can you come and get the fabric? The customers can't get in. So we went over there and thousands of yards of fabric. That's why I like this town. It is filled with beautiful people. Look what they've done for us, you know? And they do it for everybody. You read in the paper all the time, somebody's house burns down, somebody's wheelchair got stolen. And the town comes together and does things for people and look, made us better.